Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the tradingsyndicate.org. I'm JJ, vwaptrader1. Is it Friday yet? You have to forgive me. I'm still in lazy summer mode. I got to snap out of that. Goodness, goodness. Oh, how's everybody this morning? Hey, Juan, how are you? Welcome to the folks joining us on YouTube. Hey, there you are. Front runner, where are you at? Haven't seen you in weeks. Oh, that's right. You're doing the whole golf thing must be pretty busy these days, eh? Do you guys have a season? I don't know. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Doc, how are you? Hey, Johnny, how's the new home? Notice how I'm stalling? Okay, I better get my butt to work here. All right, quick thing before we start. I'm just being lazy. Oh, good stuff. Sorry, I'm just being lazy. It's my Achilles heel is my laziness. It also keeps me out of a lot of trouble in bad trades. Um, all right, so I want to talk about gaps. We have at least four gaps to the upside, going back to like May, June, I think even in April. But I want you to take note that these big gaps to the downside have filled the very next day. Okay? Now, not so much for day traders and scalpers, but for our longer term traders, you have to pay attention to that. Because if a supply gap is bought up violently the next day, and gaps up, which are lack of supply, have not filled in months, should I start playing the music from Jeopardy? What does that tell us, folks? It tells us the market's still in uptrend. Okay? These are mechanical things. You can't argue against this. It's simple. It's like the nut and the bolt fit together, right? It's a simple question of mechanics. And I don't care how short biased you are, but the last time we had a gap, what was it, like a 50-point gap? It filled the next day. That is significant. That's very significant. Okay? So, longer term traders, that's your level right now. I'd call it 63.60. Until the market breaks that level, you got a lot of inventory above that level. And until we take it out, all of this candy is not going to fall. Because this candy has been bought by some pretty big pocketed people, and the buying retention when we have a flush is, I've never seen buying retention this good in a market that's based on an index. I've seen it in penny stocks where the supply is tightly controlled by me and my insiders, but never in a market, not like this. I've been saying for years how the US stock market is structured. Therefore, it's structured to go higher as long as interest rates remain low. And there's a lot of speculative money out there. And as long as institutions like BlackRock and Vanguard exist that warehouse stock for decades, there's no supply. Okay. So shorting, if you're shorting this market, go ahead. Just make sure they're hit and run shorts so you don't get stuck. The moral of the story is do not get stuck with your hand in the cookie jar for for too long. Reach in there, grab a couple of cookies, but don't stick your hand in there for hours because it's going to get bit off, right? The chart's telling you that. Look at the daily chart. You want to look at 6370 area. This is where people got really short when we had that big dip in August. That's why every time we come down to that area, the market stops and turns around. Okay? It's also where I think that's a 50 moving average. It's right in that area. So, okay, there's your structure. Now, overnight inventory is long. At least 70% of the trading is above yesterday's close. We've had a couple of corrections. Let's see what happens when London opens. But we've been above, well, back and forth over yesterday's high. We had a lot of people got caught short again. That 430 low, M opens, not 430, 330. M opens one tick down and then straight up from 32 all the way up to 59. They're catching a lot of shorts at the end of the day. So, I got a small balance zone tonight, 64 3/4 to 66 3/4. It's only 2 points. Yeah. A little bit of a shake and bake, Travis, every day just before everybody goes home. Let's steal as much money as we can from them. And guess what? They go for it. They fall for it every single time. No. Didn't take out the high of the day, Raj. Didn't have enough juice. Right? Didn't have enough juice to take out the high of the day. If I had just come in now, I would look at this as a rotation. I think this would be a better balance zone. So 66 to maybe 61 and a half. You see the rotation? Everyone? Cool. Thanks, Trade Raker. Red. Oh my goodness. Hey, Omen, what's going on? Dave, what's up, brother? Ah, we have a poor low in Globex. I don't call it Asian and all that stuff. It's just one session to me, Bach one, 6 p.m. New York time Eastern to 9:30. It's all for me one session. I call this the London Open, but there's actually nothing really opening. I mean, London market's open, but how often do I move? Uh, Balance zone, Dave? Oh, I was just see. I got the balance zone from this, Dave. Right, and the only thing I was just kind of complaining it's a bit small. So I would prefer to use this. Like if I just came in and sat down now, I would do that. Once I set them, Dave, I forget them. Set them and forget them. Unless the market moves 30, 40, 50 points away from them. They've been bigger for a while. That's what I'm saying. They're a little small tonight. Oh, no problem. So definitely we have the bid at 64, 54, 54 half. That's where that poor low is. That means shorts are trapped underneath that low. Unfilled buy orders. 54 and 3/4. Oh, okay. I can see that. Ah, the overnight POC moved down. It was at 66 and it just dropped down to 62. How much that tells us is not a lot. Uh, hmm. What do we have for news today? Sorry. Let me take a look. ADP employment, jobless claims, productivity, trade deficit. 9:45 we got news. S&P final U.S. services PMI, 10 o'clock ISM. Ooh, and a couple of Fed presidents on just for icing on the cake. And NFP tomorrow? Oh, lovely. Maybe we'll get some inventory correction then. We'll see. If you look at the structure of this market, it really looks. I wouldn't want to go size long here, but I don't want to get into a short until it breaks 54. Anyway, for a longer term trade, you got to really pick your battles in this market. If we take out 66 1/4, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be looking for 69 1/4. Probably a brief stop at 67. Hmm. Well, you think we'll get some tweets today? We'll see, you know. I've largely ignored what he has to say lately. I haven't followed any of that stuff out of Washington in months. Not ever since that nonsense in April with his Judgment Day thing. It's just kind of. I was like, okay, this is like a clown car coming off the rails. 500-point days in ES futures. That is not market stability, right? It's just plain irresponsible to have a 500-point day in the S&P. I don't know. I'm old. A lot of people love that stuff. I think it's highly irresponsible. You know, they're supposed to be stewards of this market, gatekeepers for sanity and price stability. Yeah, I think buyer on pullback is a good strategy there, Doc. Okay, I've had my little. I sound like Tom Sosnoff when he rants about. I'm not political. I'm just. This market is supposed to be like the leader. It's not supposed to trade like a penny stock. Oh. Andrew Hernandez. What I'm looking at? What I'm looking at. If you mean what am I looking at, Andrew, you are looking at a chart of the S&P ES futures. Let's see if we can get past the sellers at 64.66. If we run those stops, look for 67 to 69. It's always helpful to know where the sellers are going to step in, right? Boom, boom, boom. Why is that important? Well, because if you're long, you know where to sell. And if you're a short seller, you put your stop right above that level, right? So say you wanted to short here at 65 and 3/4, you just put your stop above there. Or use that as your warning sign and put your stop there, right? What strategy do I use? I trade according to the business, Andrew. And welcome, thank you for joining us. So I'm an old school trader. When I see a seller, I short and I sell alongside. When I see supply has run out, I go long and I sell into strength. Make sense? My trades are based on the oldest business principles. My strategy is trading the business. If you understand the business, then you understand that there's a business reason for a trade. If you were shorting here, it's because you have sellers competing at 66. So you sell alongside them if you're shorting. And you use these levels as your stops. If you look to cover before VWAP because there'll be competitive buying there. If the market doesn't break 64 and 3/4, then you know that supply is running out. Trades are based on common sense, simplicity, and business. That is the strategy, my friend. You won't find, am I profitable? I am. I've been trading for 33 years. I've been trading for 33 years. I've taken 200 companies public, and I've traded billions of dollars of order flow. So what I do is I use the business to help retail traders understand how markets work so they can make money in a simple fashion. I'm not on the treadmill this morning, Radovan. There's your target VWAP. So if you were short, say 65 3/4, 66 quarter stop, cover a little bit at VWAP, grab a couple of points, right? So Andrew Hernandez, if you're just joining us, welcome. What we do here is we use common sense and the business to make money. If you're still short, look for bids at 62, 62/4. Yeah, we'll see what kind of upside we get. It was a nice little look above and fail, right? It's okay, it's all right if you freeze Omen. It's just because you're just getting used to this type of trading and you're just building your execution, right? Everybody freezes. Nobody just pops out of the womb and starts trading and makes money, right? It's not like Robert Redford in The Natural. There's people need to learn the business. They need to be trained. They need to also be trained how to react, right? What we are doing is we are reacting to change as traders. So you need to train yourself how to react, right? So that's the good thing about Globex. It's a slower market. You can watch and watch and learn, right? Why didn't I trade it? Because I was talking to people on YouTube. I was trying to explain to somebody our strategy. I'm not sure if you were probably not listening. So sometimes I'll miss trades just because I'm talking to someone and I'm not paying attention. What about the curse of September? I don't know, man. I just let the chart tell me what's going on, guys. I'm a simple guy, right? So you guys seem to be new to my stream. I've been doing this a long time. I'm used to building charts, so I kind of understand how they're created. So I just trade what the chart tells me, right? I don't think about curses or, you know, magic potions. And do I use FVG? What is that? Is that like Ozempic? What's FVG? I am currently on no diet drugs. Liquidity? Do I use liquidity? Mother of God. You know what liquidity is, right? Liquidity is the ability to transact size without adversely affecting price. I don't know what a fair value gap is. Oh, is it that gibberish from that guy? Yeah. No, I don't use any of that crap. I use the business, man. It's a business. Yeah. So let's see if we can take out 64.60 and come down to 58. It's okay. We got some new people in the stream. That's a big cult. No, I don't know what a fair value gap or a cool ranch gap or a flaming hot Cheeto gap. I don't know any of that stuff. Nice work, RC. Nice work. Saw a seller and you sold alongside. Very simple. Okay, Andrew. Well, thanks for joining us and have a good morning. All right? You do whatever you need to do and you have a good day. Hey, Mike, what's going on? How you doing? I'm glad you're profitable. Enjoy. Looking for 58 quarter as the next sort of bid. Yes, the class from yesterday is posted in the training replays. Yeah, don't worry, folks. It's cute when people come over the internet and come on stream and stuff like that. It's like quite adorable. I want to see if that poor low gets taken out. It's like seriously. All right. Bid's holding at 58 for now. Seller at 60. Let's find the bid as London opens. See if we get a look above and fail of 60 and 3/4. Nah, there's still a seller there. I know it's funny. It's like there's the look below and fail of 60 and 3/4. Right back up to VWAP. We found the bid at the E low at 64.58 quarter. We should rotate all the way up to 64 and 3/4 now from 60 and 3/4. Found the bid again. Good rotation. Creeping up on that 64 and 3/4. There it is. Right. We have sellers at 66. Remember that. If you are long from the look below and fail of 60 and 3/4. and rotation back down. So right now we're just rotating, we're just in that red zone, rotating back and forth, right? While we wait for more order flow, right? Anybody have any intelligent questions or relevant questions? Be happy to answer those. Single prints from yesterday? No, they are not, Travis. I have the profile expanded, that's why. See? Kind of looks like it with that M period move up, but no. Just rotations, folks. Just so far, if you're trading tonight, just trade from the outside in. How often do I redraw the balance zone? I don't. I don't, Mike, unless we get like a huge move up or down. Right? If we get like, if Powell came out and said something and we get a move 30 points up and then it goes sideways, then I'll redraw them. Yeah, there's only two letters that create that poor low, Omen, right? And it's down at 54 and a half. We still haven't traded down there. Yeah, because you don't. The reason that you don't have to redraw the balance zones, Mike, are because it's cost basis. So it's cost basis, then 2 times profit, 4 times profit, 8 times profit. The product never changes, so it's just mark up and mark down. Pretty simple. Once again, everything we do and everything we teach is simple. So there's no gibberish, there's no double talk. This way you can focus on simple analysis so you can actually focus on execution and be profitable. So we're just going back and forth and back and forth. In this, if I came in now, I would redraw this cost basis zone. But it's still tradable, right? I mean, you know where the sellers are, you know where they stop selling. So for the rest of the session, unless we get a breakout of 66 to 60, right? Just trade the edges in. So look above and fail, look below and fail. Pretty simple. No need to overcomplicate it, right? And if that balance zone, how this works is if that breaks, right, you just double it to the upside and double it to the downside to get your targets, right? Pretty easy to understand, right? The easier it is to understand, the more you can focus on execution. Because if you have a bunch of complicated analysis, your execution, you're going to fumble it. Because you're going to be thinking about analysis that's useless and clogging up your head with a bunch of crap. Right? Our method of trading is how you're taught on a trade desk. So you can actually trade and be smooth. Right? It's not going to be smooth at first. You fumble around. Everybody does. Just work through that. Keep working on your execution. Right? Your analysis is never going to change. Once you understand how a market works, one of the guys earlier in the morning, he put this Wyckoff thing in there, and he had accumulation, markup, distribution, and markdown. Well, that's exactly how markets work, right? It could be a chart of, you know, sales of oranges or apples. Here it's ES contracts. It's just a product. The chart, all it does is it tracks the accumulation and distribution of the product. That's all. Tells you how sales are going. It's a sales chart. Do we have to put it on sale for them to come and buy it? Or can we raise price because there's enough buyers and they're eager enough? That's pretty much it. It's not rocket science. And you don't have to be kidnapped by aliens, right? Right? You don't need to be kidnapped by aliens and forced to program algorithms. What a load of malarkey. Dear God. Ugh. Keep it simple. Let's see if we could take out those sellers at 66. Is there enough buying for them to raise price yet? Stalling out. I haven't been. I don't trade the NQ, so I don't watch it. But yeah, if the offer is moving higher, all it means is the market has seen bids and is trying to take advantage of that, right? Right? Because sellers have product and they could price compete. But guess what? If they see buyers, they'll lift that offer, and the offer will come above that white line that I drew. You are right, Buck One, right? Because it's a market. So think about a market. Sellers come in with inventory of goods, right? They sell those goods according to the flow of customer traffic, which is order flow. That's why these people say order flow trading, which is, it's funny because it's just a fancy way of saying customers coming into the market. Buying breakouts when it's slow is a pain. You know why, AZS? Because they sell into it. Large traders sell into a breakout. A breakout creates buying because a breakout to the upside, right, triggers those stop loss orders that shorts have, right? So they're short, they have their stop there. That creates buying that we can sell into, right? So we can dump size into that. Wow. I just saw that Coinbase is offering 50 times leverage on perpetual futures. Holy cow. It's pretty heavy. Sorry, Raj. Yeah, right. Well, because Raj, if you have size, right, and those stops get triggered, what is that? That's you're creating buy orders, right? So what are you going to do with your inventory that you acquired here, right? You always have to sell, right? Because your inventory ties up your capital. So the rotation of capital, that's why markets rotate, because that's the business, right? Just like a used car lot, back and forth, except it's a much bigger car lot, a lot more customers, faster pace of business. Finally took out the 66s. Be looking for 69 and a quarter if you're long. There you go, AZS. Hey, Ron, what's going on? That thing looks like the Pepsi symbol. That's okay. Oh, no, it's a bull. Okay. Creeping. 18 points. Nice work, RC. Well done. Well done. I'm going to have to clean up my NQ charts. I haven't looked at them in months. I might as well do it before, during contract roll. I'm glad. I'm glad. It's NQ is a tough market to trade. I'm glad you're doing well at it. Good discipline. It's just so thin. Well, folks, bit of a boring session. A little bit off today. Nice work. It's good to sell into strength, AZS. It's good to sell into strength. Right? The wholesalers are going to be selling here, right? You might as well sell alongside, right? There you go. It's tradable, though. Look above and fail of 66. Looking for, you look for the previous day high at 64 quarter. Oh yeah, you gamers are used to probably like the NQ better because it's faster. The ES probably puts you guys all to sleep. It's like, what did I drink all that Red Bull for? So if you were short off that look above and fail of 66 and 3/4, cover a little here at 64. And if we get back underneath 64, just looking for that point of control at 62.5. Right back down to VWAP. Good rotations, folks. I'm going to drink some coffee and then trade them. Anybody have any questions? If not, I'll wrap it up a little early. Let you guys get on with things. My focus this Globex session will be on the low to see if we can actually break it. Good stuff, Ron. Have a good rest. Yeah, I'm a fan of the ES as well. Thanks, everyone. Come visit us at thetradingsyndicate.org, where I promise we'll teach you how to trade without any gibberish. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you at 9 o'clock for the 9 a.m. session. It's okay, Mike. Thanks so much for showing up. Appreciate you. Have a good one, folks. See you at 9 a.m. Bye for now.